Hello, Crafting Tins here. Today we're going to be making Freddy Fazbear's hat. The items you're going to need are some paper, some EVA foam. Oh, there we go. Stay still. Some foam clay, a hot air gun, a Dremel. Oh, we have a cat. A knife to cut with, a pen. Oh, and don't forget the glue. I went and created the template using the paper. I simply traced this from my tablet. Yep, so you need the top, the middle, and the bottom. I will leave a link to this particular one down below. But then I went and cut that out. Yeah, that center bit can go. Once all this was cut out, it needed reshaping and just cleaning up a little bit. So get your Dremels ready. Don't forget to wear a mask. This got very messy very quickly. I experimented using two different heads for this Dremel. I used the coarser sanding end in order to get the shape that I desired, and then I moved on to a smoother sanding head just to smooth up those edges so they weren't so rough and bitty. Once you have your pieces all sanded down to the sizes that you want, we can now move on to gluing them. This impact glue is fantastic. Just place one glob on one side and one glob on the other. I used a little piece of foam just to smooth it all out. But once these become a little bit tacky, I was a little bit impatient at first, but once these become a little bit tacky, you can then put them together and it fuses the foam together. I did also use a heat gun just so it would help me gain that shape that I wanted for the hat. But here we go. Once they're put together, they should fuse and cement together beautifully. And shouldn't be too much of a hassle. I did struggle with this bit. Yeah, just a little. So once the stem of the hat is attached or connected, we'll be able to attach both the top and the bottom like so. Don't forget glue on both sides, leave it to go a little bit tacky, then attach. Feel free to use your heat gun whenever you need, just to reshape and help you truly get those ends in line. And just like that, we have one complete hat. Now it could be me, but it could be looking a little more Freddy Fazbear plush than Freddy Fazbear game, but alas, we move on. This next step, I decided to take some foam clay and smooth out some of the edges. Some of them were still a little bit rough. Where the connections happened, there was glue sort of poking out, and I just wanted to use a little bit of foam clay just to smooth over some of those ends, just to give it a little bit of a nicer, more polished finish. So here I just added some water to the foam, which helped to keep the foam clay hydrated, allowing me to mold it into all those creases and crevices, all the little gaps that didn't quite marry up. I did this along the top, the side, and the bottom seams. and I chose to use the end of a brush to smooth it out. I don't know why, since I do actually own little rubber tools, which could have been slightly more handy. But, alas, I decided not to do that. Once you've finished using your foam clay, you don't have to use it, but I decided to. You will need to leave it for 24 hours to dry. Once dry, you're going to need Mod Podge, some black acrylic paint, some clear lacquer, and of course, a handy dandy paintbrush. Before priming, I didn't record it, but I did run the heat gun over this just to close any porous holes in the foam, both the clay and the regular foam. Oh, I clearly can't. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, there you go. There we go. I've managed to pull the lid off there. As I was saying, just run the heat gun over it, remove any porous holes that may be in the foam. Once you've done that, you can get stuck in with painting. I gave it 2 coats of Mod Podge. I chose the matte Mod Podge for this. Just felt that it was a slightly nicer base to work on, a matte base. Once your Mod Podge is dry, you can then get straight into painting it any color you desire. Of course, as this is Freddy's hat, I did choose black. So, very simple, very quick, very easy. Paint the whole thing black. I gave this, I want to say about 2 coats, maybe 3 coats, just so that I could get rid of all of the stripes, every single paint stripe. I did use a lot of paint on my brush after this first layer, just to try and avoid these streaks. Once you have painted it, it should look something a little like this. I just used clear lacquer and gave it a thorough spray. A coat of clear lacquer will not only give it a very nice shine, but will also hopefully protect it from any damage or paint wearing off. And here we have it, Freddy Fazbears top hat. I think Freddy himself would be quite proud of this one.
Way to go, superstar!
If you did enjoy this video, I would love it if you would give it a like and let me know in the comments below, what colour would you paint Freddy's hat? Thank you all so much for watching, and hopefully I will catch you in the next one. Bye!